Hello and welcome to this video on Gravity Forms by Rocket Genius. We're just going to have a look at the standard operation of the plugin, and if you want to look at some of the add-ons that are available, then please check out the other videos on the channel. But here we're just going to look at features available with the standard operations. So these are the examples that I've set up for you and we'll go through. One is just to show you how a simple form works. Then we'll look at the operation of conditional fields. Then a form that's limited by time. A form that's limited by the number of entries to it. A form with a product and a price and pricing options. A product with a pricing options plus shipping options. How you can run multiple products within one form, the secret life of hidden fields on forms. Then we'll create a post to be added to the WordPress posts via the form, and then we'll take that a little bit further by creating a property listing post with a form. So I've set up a multi-site with Gravity Forms, and into that I've put a number of forms on pages for us to have a look at. And this is the first one. It's a very simple form. As you can see, I can just enter a name, last name and an email. And it submits the form. And you see we have a little message at the end. So let's go and have a look at how such simple forms are created. The setup of this is really very easy. You have down the right hand side sets of different types of fields, and you just choose the one you want and you click on it, and it's then added to the list of fields on the other side. So there we are, I've just added number, so that field will take a number. So we'll have a quick look around the different types of fields we've got to use. We've got a single line of text or a paragraph of text. You can have a drop down list. You can have a multi-select list, which means you can select multiple items from the drop-down. We can have a number. We can have a set of options which are selected by checkboxes or radio buttons. We have hidden fields. We can have pure HTML if you want to add some content in between things. We can break the content up into sections, and we can have multiple pages. They aren't physical pages, but they are pages that go between the content, so that you enter some of the details, then you go to the next page and you enter some of the next details, and you can go on like that. The advanced features of the fields are special fields really. You've got one which is a name, and that's always used as name by the system. We have one where we can put in a date. We can put a phone number, and that's usually American format, so be careful if you're not using American format phone numbers. A time, an address, a website, an email address, which obviously validated as an email address. We can upload a file, we can enter a CAPTCHA, or we can enter a list. In the post fields we've got title, body, excerpt, tags, category, post image and custom field, all from a post. So that means creating a blog post with Gravity Forms, which we'll have a look at later. And also in pricing fields we have a product, its quantity, We can give it options, a shipping charge, and we can also get a total calculator for us. But we'll go through a lot of these in our examples. So this is how you do a simple field, and then within it there are some options. In this case, for name, you can actually set if it's the first, middle or last field. We've got various things for that. You always have something to appearance. So where's the description put? Where's the label put? You can have a validation message for bad data added. And you can also set a style class if you want to style your particular field. In the advanced, again, you usually have if the field is visible or hidden, if it will be conditional or populated dynamically. In this example, we're going to show you how conditional fields work. That means that dependent on a value on one field, another field may or may not be shown. So we can put some values in here, but what I'm really interested in is what happens in the next field. So we have here how we contact you by phone, and then it says when we will call, and there's a date field, and then ask the phone number. But if you change that to be contacted by email, those two fields disappear and you get an email box appear instead. So you only get asked the questions for what data is expected. And that is an example of a conditional field. So let's have a look at how that conditional form worked. If we go into edit the form definition, you will see that the fields for how should we call, phone number, email are all listed here. But if we go into how should we call, we will find that is a conditional field has been ticked for conditional logic, and it will show if all the following things happen. How shall we contact you is phone. So if this value up here is phone, this field will show. In different example with the email in the advanced section, the conditional field says if how shall we call you is email, then you show. And in that way only the fields that are required will appear and the other ones will hide away, making the form much easier to understand. In this example we have a time limited form, and unfortunately the time limit has already passed. So let's go and see how that one works. So as far as the form's concerned, it's just a standard form. There's nothing special about it at all here. But in the form settings, we have a field which allows us to set expiring offers. So if you go down to the bottom here, you can see there's restriction section, schedule from. So between these two dates and these times, the form will be available. When it is before that time, you'll get registration not yet open, and after registration close. So if I change the date to that, and update, if I've got my dates right, then it should say it's not ready yet. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you can create any form to be date specific. You may have a form where you wish to limit the number of entries. So in this particular one, I only want 5 people to sign up for this course. And so I've put a warning on the form, and in the form setup, again, if we look in the form settings for that form, you'll find I've enabled the entry limit. I said there must be 5 total entries, and after that I will display a message saying, sorry, we already have enough names. So that limits the number by entries. You can also use the pricing options on Gravity Forms to make mini order forms. So I could put a quantity of 2, and you see it works out the price for me at the bottom. Now if I change the colour from red to metallic silver, you'll see the price changes as well. That's because I have set different prices for the 3 different colours. Red and blue are the same price, and then metallic silver is more expensive. But I've also added an option for packaging. So paper bag doesn't make any difference to the price, cardboard box adds £2, and luxury wrapping adds £3 to the order. So that allows me to submit a simple order form. Let's have a look at that and see how that works. So we have, from the pricing fields over here, we have a quantity field. We've got a product field, which is a product colour. We've got an option field, which is the paper bag. So the quantity field is just simply a number, although I've actually set a range between 0 and 9, so people can only order between 0 and 9. I've got a product colour, so I've set the product colour. Value is what will be sent onto the order form, so I can see what when you look at the order form, and you can see I set prices here, different prices for products. And then for the option, I've given prices for each. So it defaults to £3 for a paper bag, and then you saw it said +2 and +5 for the wrapping, because it's working out the difference for you automatically. And the total is just the total, alright, and that is calculated as the form progresses. In this example, we've actually added some shipping options to the end of the order form as well, which again change the price. And notice that the total price doesn't have to be at the end of the form for the calculations to work. So in the form we just simply got a shipping form field, and then we just set the label for what the items are and the price to be charged, and that is automatically then added into the total. It's also possible for Gravity Forms to actually allow you to have multiple products in one little order form. So here I've got a product A and then a product B, and then for a more variety I have a option product where I've put in 3 different prices, and then I've put in a separate quantity box to put in the quantity, and that again all feeds into the total. So let's have a look at this particular form. So we have 2 product fields which simply have a single product and the price. And then we have this product field, which is a drop down product field, so it's got 3 options, and I've put the prices in. It doesn't display the prices, so I've added the prices to the labels, so they're seen there. Then of course I need a quantity, so I've put a quantity field in, and then I've told the system I want that to map to the courgettes field, so that number is linked to the courgettes field, and that's how it calculates the values for the courgettes. So I could have, for instance, gone into this product here. I could disable the quantity field and then add a quantity field separately if I wanted to. So that's how it calculates the order. The next thing we're looking at is hidden fields, and what's important about hidden fields is obviously what's hidden, not the data we're going to submit here. So in hidden fields we can create a lot of data for ourselves. It's one hidden field value, but we can actually set a lot of values into that hidden field. So we can have the IP address, the internet address of the user. We can have the date in two different formats. We can have the ID or the page title or the URL. We can have the user agent, which defines the browser. We can have the referrer URL, which is the web address that got before this form. So it's the web address they came through before they got to this form. We can have their user display name and the user email address and the user login, which is obviously only works if they are logged into the system, otherwise it's going to give no value. And those are then hidden in hidden fields. And those hidden fields are not visible to the user in normal circumstances. I say normal circumstances because if you know how to view the source code of the page, you could actually pick those values up. But in normal process of events, that information is not available to the user, and it's just background information which helps us when we've collected the form. The last two examples I'm going to show in this video are to do with post fields. So this allows us to create post entries as we would if we created a new post, but through the form. So this one I've got an example of a local for sale board. So I'm going to put in a name. Title is going to be that will be the description. I could include an image and a custom post field, but I haven't got the custom post field set up, so that's all I have. And that's now been created as a post. So if we go to the dashboard and look at all posts, that should be the last one on the system. There it is. So there's my post. It's been created by Gravity Forms. Now you'll notice that I've asked it to be created as a draft, so the site owner can check it before they let it go live. And you can also notice that it's automatically been given the category of local offers. So if I go to local offers category, I will see just the local offers that I have created. In the form itself, you can see that most of the data is coming from the section here called post fields. So we've got the post title, which will be the title of the post, the content description, which is the body content. You can actually do excerpt content as well, which is the short form that you might use in a list of posts. On the category, we've got a few clever things we can do in the category. We could allow any categories, so we can allow the person to select a category, or we could choose which categories are available instead of the whole lot. And we'll have a look at that more in the next example. And we can also choose to have a post image, so that allows them to upload a features image. If you have custom fields defined in your theme, then we can create custom field data, or custom field data can stay in the post when you edit it and not be seen on the screen. The other example I have for you is a property listing. So I'm taking the whole concept a bit further now, because this step here is because I've created 2 pages. I talked about having multiple pages of forms at the very beginning. Well, here is an example of me doing it. So I can put my name, my phone number, email, put the address. This is somewhere where required fields could be a bit useful. And here's the second page. So I can choose from 2 categories. So I've set up 2 categories that are available this time, so you can select between which ones you want. And then I've got a monthly rent. For the rent, if it goes for sale, it says the price guide, so we're using conditional fields there as well to change the content of that one. We can put in some other information, and we submit. That again submits a post item. But you see, I've also done some links here, and I've just done a rent, so it should be in this one. So I've done some links to the page for rentals, and it's not come up. That's the sale one does. So I can do a list in the categories. Oh yes, the other one hasn't come out because I haven't yet approved it. That's why it's not there. Nearly caught myself out there. So this is a bit boring because I haven't really put much detail in, but you can see that we can use the post field. So here's the start of the page. I've got a page break, you see. So I've got the name, phone number, email address, all the background data I'd want to collect. And then I've got a page break. And then I put the category, which I've given the option of only 2 of the categories on my site in this particular case. I've got a price guide, which is a conditional field if it's for sale. Otherwise, I've got the monthly rent, which is a conditional field as well. So only one of those is going to appear. And I've got the number of bedrooms, reception rooms, property description, my post title, and uploading a photo. So all of those become part of the listing. If I go to my posts, you can see I've got the one that I created, so I can go to quick edit and make it published. Update. So if I now go back a page here, or is it 2 pages? Yep. So if I go to view properties for rent, that one should now be listed. There it is. And I can click on it, and there's the details. Adding post data to your forms, there are lots and lots of things you could do. You could have product lists, you could have businesses putting their adverts in and things like that. The downside is, although this collects the data in a wonderful way and you can add lots of wonderful fields, you really need your theme to be able to add the information in for you so it displays it. Otherwise, collecting the data, it looks a bit silly. But anyhow, that's the power of Gravity Forms, and that's the demonstration. As I said, there are separate videos on the channel for some of the generic add-ons which are available in the developers version. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't think it was good enough, give me a thumbs down so I know how I'm doing, and feel free to comment. Thank you very much.
For more info, visit wpbusinessclub.com.